All right, let's go over some good setups for this week that most of y'all gonna get smoked on. So here we got Tesla. It was looking strong. We had some great setups, going into last week. I think at the end of the day, we got spooked by that credit downgrade from Moody's. I believe it went down to like 340 in the after hours. It started recovering, but let's say if we get some more downside, we're looking at some entries around 338 for shorts. First target is 335. Next would be 331, and then the ultimate target would be 328. Plus, I know with that new tax bill that Trump proposed, they're looking to cut out those EV incentives. So, if that does come to fruition, it's looking like Tesla might go a little bit lower. So here we got First Solar. This is a new setup on my radar. It benefits huge from this new proposed tax bill, and the stock already made a pretty solid jump higher from 155 up to about 178, ran all the way up to 196 before it rejected. So the main thing to watch while the market regains some of its momentum is that potential gap fill lower in this range around that 168 to that 155 to fill the gap. I'm not sure if we're going to get that gap. I'm not too convinced on the downside on this name yet, but if the market starts pushing lower, I'm looking at interest around 168, targeting 164, 161, and then close that gap at 156. Now on the upside level, so I got some levels of interest if we start rebounding and start bouncing strong with 175, 184, 189. The main thing with this trade is I want to take it off a good setup. So if we can get around, sometime probably like midweek, we start seeing a better setup for them. If we can get an entry around 196 for a move to 205, 210 range, that's the type of setup I'm looking for. Right now, I don't see much going on. So this is just one of those trades where you kind of want to wait, midway through the week, see what happens, see how the market progresses, and then go from there. But it's got some strong levels at 206 and 212. So here we got Boeing, one of my favorite setups. Above 200, we're just a headline away from 213. The cleanest setup I see on this name so far is if we can get a move above 208, we'll start targeting that 210, 213 range. Now on the downside, if we keep going lower based off what's going on overnight, we got a break under 204. First target is 203. We may get a flush of 200. If we break that, I'm looking for 198. So here we got Nvidia, another stock getting some love through headlines. We had the AI diffusion rule that was appealed. That's a big deal. We had the Saudi investment into advanced AI chips. That's a huge boost for Nvidia. We got earnings in a couple weeks, so we should start seeing a run up begin. Outside the current breakout range, if we can get above 130, 136, we can target 137, 138, and we got some upside numbers before the earnings call around 140, 143. But currently we got some downside action going on overnight based off that Friday's downgrade from Moody's regarding our credit. So if we can break under 133, I'm looking to enter puts, targeting 132, 130, and then 128. So now we got Apple, which has been struggling to get any momentum these last couple of sessions. If we start trading lower, I'm looking at entries around 208, with the first target being 206, then 203. And if we get some real aggressive selling, we should break that 200 level. So now with Apple in those lower ranges, you want to watch if it starts to hold around that 203, 206 range, because that tells us the market is decent. Now if other things start holding, and Apple can get a bounce, we can get right back to the Friday's range and then set up a move higher through that 215 level, 217. And if it's a strong buy, we should start targeting that 221 range.